Hello everyone and welcome to today's session of Danes and Dice, episode number 49.
No.
I'm Toby, your Dungeon Master. I'm not alone, I'm joined by these guys. And as you can see, Emil is, well, he's here but not here. He's joined via Discord, not that that really matters. Let's do a quick round of introduction, start with me, play.
Hello, my name is Frederick. I will be portraying the role of Kevin Riddlewood, a level 8 Dwarven monk.
Wow.
Yes.
And I am Marcus, and I will be playing Dominic Grimdale, the half-orc fighter, who's also little lead.
My name is Julian, and I will use my acting ability to portray the Wizard of Gandalf. No, I will be Faruga Raxko.
You love Star Wars.
The half-orc barbarian, level 8.
You love Star Wars.
I love both, that's why the wizard was called Albus in the city.
I don't remember an Albus.
Obi-Wan
That was the
Kenobi.
guy with the stuff in the arms. In any
Hi,
case,
my name is Mikkel. I'll be playing Seek, the Satyr Sorcerer.
the guy you talked to at the...
Your characters have
And tonight, coming to you, not live, but from Aarhus, Emil will be playing Galleon Moonlight.
Ah,
And there's no scripts on the night.
great. That's who we are. Let's play some D&D. Last time on Danes and Dice, our adventurers went further away from Mithrenda and into the unknown, and and arrived at the Never-Ending Glades, one of a few checkpoints that Galleon knew would be en route to this summer palace that the group is currently headed towards. They saw that what once was a open glade where festivities were held had turned to be a massive battlefield, or the aftermath of one. Corpses lying everywhere as far as the eye could see, banners waving in the air, and in the midst of making their way through this battlefield, they stumbled across a furbolg and a gnome called Morks and Gimplark. They were scavenging the battlefield, and after a bit of convincing, some people promising not to decapitate other people, they figured that, you know what, let's work together. You help us figure out how to do things and where to go, and we help you figure out why Morks' powers have gone, or have vanished, or whatever you want to call it. They leave the battlefield, or the aftermath thereof, and reach a small city in which a group of trolls have made camp. And after slaying this bunch of trolls via a lot of trees and pillars thrown in Dominic's face, and surprisingly easy combat, despite this being a deadly encounter. We now stand. I don't remember whether we finished last session with a rest or if you
No, we
opted
didn't.
to move on directly. I think you did. But we finish in the village with the lot of you having just slain the orcs.
Yeah.
That's where
trolls.
we start today. Trolls.
But I'm in the bowl.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
Next time I'm gonna call out a little earlier for those pillars. But why didn't you just catch them?
Why didn't I just catch the pillars?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's something I can do. I might be strong, Kevin, but pillars in that size are pretty...
Just pull them to the side.
Oh yeah, I'll do that next time.
I mean, if he can jump 90 feet without taking any damage, why can't you lift pillars like this?
I thought I had... Oh, am I by myself now?
Kong, where are you?
Yeah, sure that I had proven myself in the last few fights, but that's...
You're doing great. It's just next time, just fend them to the side instead of taking them to the face.
You can
Yeah,
also
that's
just
smart.
dodge.
You know, I could use some of that back massage you usually do.
Oh,
on
yeah,
me.
that's
fine.
Keep
Stunning strike.
Stunning
That's
strike.
fine.
Yeah.
Petrificus not
So that's a 19.
Mm-hmm.
And I do use stunning strike.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, I don't.
You
Table has catched.
Okay. Okay. Well, you have to do
No.
a wisdom save.
So we're
No.
still in the remains of
you
this
are still
town.
in the ruin, yes.
Yeah.
Constitution. save.
Has Mooks and
Glimbark.
Gimplark.
Kimblark.
Kimblark.
Has they reached us yet?
Well, yes, they weren't that far behind.
Okay.
You just didn't haste them. I mean, one didn't want to participate, and the other guy didn't fly forward the same way that you guys did. So he's like, "Good job, guys."
Thank you,
This is his
Glimbark.
voice now. It changes from session to session.
He had a cough.
That's next session. That's next
Alright.
session.
Oh.
Let's press on. Find somewhere to rest for the night.
That sounds like a good idea.
But is everyone ready if we find any more trolls?
Well, I
Sure,
think we
yes.
should find a place to rest just for a little while and then continue to...
Well, it's not safe to stay here.
No.
What do you say, Galleon? Should we press on or should we rest?
I think we should press on for a suitable resting place.
Good.
Great.
It's also not very fun to see burning corpses. Yeah.
And again, the stench in the
Also, I
air.
say a prayer for the.
Hey,
Yeah.
Is it possible to?
You
Turn out the
walk
fire.
over to. It's a good.
Oh, sorry.
You walk over to the
Peon.
essentially this pretty massive bonfire, which have been lit by a combination of, I mean, broken down doors and whatever wood was remaining that hadn't already been scorched by the initial attack. And you see what appears to be remains of limbs in there. Scattered around this bonfire is other remains, both humanoid and beast-like. But some of it be bones, some of it having clear chew marks on them, bones snapped in half. And clearly a small feast that these trolls have been enjoying.
Yeah.
I get down on one knee and I take my one arm and clutch my amulet
Mm-hmm.
in anger,
Mm-hmm.
and then I stand up and with my scimitar I chop not at a limb but at a piece of wood in anger.
Yeah.
Even though it's burning.
Makes sense.
Let's
You-
just press on.
Strike at the fire. Not the whole lot happens in terms of the bonfire itself. It gets scattered a bit, so the big flames that came up before are now more smoldering. But outside of that, the fire remains.
Yeah.
So, is it a good idea to maybe put out the fire? Or would that?
Maybe we should just go. Then the fire will...
It'll
Let
be back,
itself
of course. Yeah,
I don't think we have any means of dousing the fire.
that is true. That is true.
And we also don't want to...
There's always a way.
I mean, it
was here
before we came.
True. Alright, so
Let the
Let's
fire
go.
do its work.
yeah.
All right, let's press on then.
You,
There's no one here to save.
Yeah. You make your way out of the city and press on. as you said, you again came from this, not highland, but hillside from where you could overlook the city and this column of smoke initially, but continue to press further into the former forest. You're still surrounded by these dark trees that we described last time as being the forest, Galleon, that you know that it's where Raskareth resides, the dragon that he's mentioned to you. And you continue walking for a couple of hours before you find a spot where, I mean, not that it looks much different from other places you've been, but a place that would make sense to take rest. And as I love, Sieg, you said, take rest for the night. The sky, the light in the space you've been in literally hasn't changed since you got here. It's like the 24-hour sun, but it's twilight. And had it just been twilight, you would see the setting sun, like the color of the setting sun all the time. Now it's this dark red orange, technically beautiful, but knowing the reason behind it, maybe not so, combined with ashes from millions and millions of trees and forests just kind of filling the ozone
the
with not
landscape
niceness.
is still ashen and burnt.
Yes, it's still burnt down trees, and you can see, I mean, not far into the horizon, but whenever you do get a little hill from where you can like get view in between stumps and trees, you can see maybe a kilometer or two further forward. But for the most part, whenever you walk in flatlands, yes, you can sometimes see hill ridges and mountain ridges in the far distance, but none that really appear to come any closer to you. I mean, it's this is essentially like walking around in Forgotten Realms or in Material Plane. So you just, it seems like a lot of the same essentially, except for now the trees being darker.
Right.
I never imagined us both be reminded of Little Oak and Cremor at the same time.
That's very strange.
What is this Little Oak you're talking about?
Well, that's
A village.
the village we grew up in, all of us.
Cremor is well a city at the size of Mithrandain, I think.
From what you've seen, at least the perimeter wall, you don't know how many people have lived in Mithrandain, but from the city size and what you've walked, it would seem approximately the same.
Little Oak is our home,
Yeah.
and it's well the nature here is strangely enough
Very similar.
very similar, but
I mean,
Like
except for
thereof.
all the smoke and burning trees and everything.
Well, there was quite a few chimneys in Cremor.
That is... and no trees.
But it hasn't been raining.
And no trees. Oh, that's right. I don't miss
I
the
imagine
rain.
you grew up in the forest as well.
I did, but it became too dangerous for us there.
Because
Then we
of
found the entrance. Well, my tribe was attacked by a fearsome creature when we were in the Forgotten Realms.
Oh,
And as a result of that, we had a wise old man, or a wise half-orc in our tribe that could sense something not being well in this plane of existence. And as the creature was dealt with, an opening into this realm was revealed. And instead of staying where we were, we chose to go.
so how long have you been here in the Fey realm then?
Many years.
So you're not from here either.
No,
He's from the Forgotten Realms.
Oh.
my tribe had actually situated itself well in the city and had like an area that was considered like the half-orc part of town.
But you, your whole tribe, they traveled across the gate or the portal?
Yes,
Through the portal?
through the portal, yes.
Oh.
And as we came into this place, we were met with the ancient elves of the same race of Galleon and
Was-
other creatures that welcomed us and took us to the city. And so we just tried to fit in as best we could. I became an axe for hire for and travel this realm. Always ended up back in the city to make sure that everything was well with my tribe. But now that the city has been attacked so long ago and my tribe has been scattered to the winds, all I've been trying to do with Galleon's help is find whoever was still alive and get them to safety.
Good that we found your tribe's woman,
Shirelle. Yes,
Shirelle.
that was good. She is alive. We will be able to depend on her doing everything she can to save the rest that might be out there and bring them to safety, but it was a blow to hear that the ones that I had already freed were attacked again.
So, since you guys are having such a fun time talking, how about if we see how Gimplar kind of just looks around? How about if we just set up camp here and you can continue? You all look pretty shit, to be honest.
Well,
Sounds good to me.
I can take the first
That
watch.
happens when you actually
I would like to take
go into the
a look
battle.
around and
Yeah?
check the surroundings before we do.
I mean, you have an inkling that you're on the correct path, or at least headed in the right direction. But again, the landmarks that you would usually have used to navigate don't exactly look the same. But the best, like off of your best judgment, this is as good a place to set up camp as any. You're not exactly on a big road, but you're also not in complete cover. And looking for complete cover would be I mean, it would come to you at random. There's nothing you can really do in this place here where you are right now that you would, I mean, no. The only thing that you know is that you are within the forest of Raskareth, so if baddies are around, there's a pretty good chance that the dragon would probably deal with them for you.
Is it more like is there more like nature around here and no?
None that you've seen,
So we're still sucking on rocks.
essentially.
Okay.
You still have your rations as well.
That's true.
Well, I can take the first watch if anyone wants to rest first.
Yep.
I feel fine.
I don't need to rest that much. I can also take a watch.
Well, I'd like to
Good night.
get a little because like getting a tree trunk and a pillar thrown into you, it's kind of set things in perspective.
Like I
Why
said,
did get
hours
hit at
back,
all?
just dodge it or
You
throw
should
it
just
away.
have called it.
I didn't even see you.
Well, that's because I made these two run really fast.
Ah.
Then didn't you see the fire bolts? That I hit a lot of things though.
You know,
From
everything is
I
a
hit
bit
a lot.
blurry after what happened.
Why are there two of you, Zeke?
Feels like it was weeks ago it happened.
Is that twin spells or is it?
Yeah.
Get some rest. Get
Yes,
some rest.
I will. I'll get the rest. I'm gonna set up. I'm just gonna. I think it's okay for me to sleep, right? It's,
Yeah.
You set up camp, you make a bonfire with,
Yeah.
I mean, kind of ironic to light wood. a fire.
I don't think we will make a bonfire because I remember Raskareth not liking you hurting the forest.
Not that there's a
So
lot
I
left
would
to hurt.
advise
Fair,
against
fair.
that.
Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. You don't light a fire, but again, I mean, you're not in an area where you would be cold. Anyway, in this case, it would mainly be for light, which, again, since the light doesn't really change all that much,
Yeah.
ain't graining you a lot anyway.
What about
sounds
torches?
nice.
It's just when
going?
there's camp, there's campfire.
Yeah.
I'm
But
gonna eat a ration.
unless if you wanted to
Ah.
cook something,
Yeah.
which
Have you seen The
no
Last of Us? There's no need for a campfire.
need
Just
for
do it,
campfire.
guys.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen it.
Galleon?
Everyone,
What about
You
torches?
should.
you should. Okay.
What about
What is
torches?
this scallion?
Galleon. What about torches?
It's a broken thread.
Last of Us. No, it's the
Don't hurt the
Chronicle of
forest.
Therogar and Gallia's adventures.
Sorry, I didn't hear
Like
that.
The Last of Us. That's fun.
Don't hurt the forest.
No, but if we have torches, that's not hurting the forest, is it?
No, as long as you don't put it near a tree.
You look at the burned out tree next to you.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
Nature
I'm
must
done
be
with that.
respected at all times.
Of course.
And take that from me as well.
I'm putting out my.
We don't have much nature, but we must protect what is.
Of course, of course. Yeah, well,
I'm already asleep.
you pass
In the
out.
waste of the fire, there is only one way to find the light. that is within the nature and the beauty of us all, and the nature.
And the moon?
And the moon?
Do you need a rest too, Galleon?
He's high.
I'm almost out of Geopacker.
He's sitting with the mushroom.
He's a high elf.
He's a high elf. And yeah, you set up camp.
Yeah.
Who takes turns to hold?
I do.
You take the first one. I think I have an hour where I can do what I want, right?
Not what you want.
No,
but you can.
But I can do stuff and
I'll
then
go
sleep, right?
marathon and then go back.
Yeah. I think I'm
You
gonna
can do
try
very
and-
little.
Yeah. I'm gonna. I would like to talk to Galleon.
Well, that sounds reasonable.
Sorry,
Snow.
Yeah, Galleon. What do you do to honor your gods?
I seek to the connection between this plane and the moon. There's a strong magical, spherical connection there.
And how do you feel it? Because I've been at a temple and I didn't feel much, but
Don't make it.
no. I didn't really feel that.
I feel it. It's a meaning. It's a connection of sorts. Somewhere you belong. Somewhere you can find answers. Somewhere you can find reassurance and belief and trust.
That thing you that glowing thing
Yes.
you put on my body.
Yes.
You do
It's
look.
just-
You're glowing a lot lately.
I've experienced that once before, but it was
The
only
shield
for a
of
split
faith.
second, and you, it just.
The shield of faith.
But can I do that myself?
I don't know, can you?
Well, what do you do? Oh, what do you do?
What do you do with your arms?
What do you do when? Is it possible to learn it? That's maybe what I want to know.
It is, but maybe not for me.
No.
The shield of faith is just part of my learning.
All right.
But I would love to teach you, if there's any way.
Well, I have it. I've never had a connection with the moon, but well, at the temple we learned about Kusuth. The Fire Lord, he was called.
Do I know him? I asked the DM.
No, you wouldn't.
No, it's just I was at a temple and it wasn't for me. I was put there because I was too rowdy at the local pub, or the local tavern.
Oh, you know what? Actually, Galleon, make a religion check.
But does he have any?
I'm using my new dice.
Hey, you guys.
You have to
Oh,
make a
that's
check
all
Mine
roll.
used because my dice were Toby's.
Oh,
Religion.
Mm-hmm.
religion.
That is 11.
No, I mean it's not one of the bigger deities, and none from a plane that you have ever had anything to do with. So no.
But it's it wasn't. They were very strict, and that's really not me. But well, with our adventures, I think maybe there's something to it.
There might be.
Yeah. Well, I'm
You
gonna
should see
go.
that connection.
Yeah, maybe. I'll see what I can do. I go to. I
You,
probably don't have a 10. right?
Take a rest.
Yeah, and I sit and meditate.
Make a religion check.
That's a 7.
You sit down and again do the same thing you've done every time in here, and also essentially reach the same conclusion that you have done throughout all the time you've spent trying to reconnect with this thing or experience. You feel much further away from it than you ever have.
Yeah.
It's much harder to connect with it here than it was back home.
I shake it off me and then I go down and sleep under a burnt tree.
Yeah. Galleon, your shift comes to a close as you go into your meditative state as well. Who is the next on guard? On guard.
I'll take the next watch.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, I just grab my wolf totem, and do we have any light? Source and all?
No, I mean it's not night out, so
I just sit where. Oh yeah, I sit where Galleon was.
Yeah.
Try to commune with nature, and if possible, try to sense if there are any animals around.
Make a perception check.
Oh, you've actually found campfire music without campfire.
But I'm not allowed to use a campfire.
Perception?
Yes, please.
15.
You sit and you initially try to locate creatures by not trying to, just sitting, keeping quiet, holding on to your totem and just allowing your senses to flow free. And as you hear in the ambience, you do hear like far off crows and ravens barking. And those are the same few animals you've heard along the way, but you also hear small sounds of critters in the nearby, like near the camps, like and scattering around, maybe looking for food. You don't know.
All right, I think while I'm still keeping watch, I'll.
Is there anything you're wanting to do with these animals since you're?
Might want to try to use 10 minutes to cast Speak with Animals.
Isn't that instant spell?
Oh, maybe it's just.
It lasts.
Last casting time 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Duration
I didn't
10
know that.
minutes.
Okay.
It's like it's. I think my magic is very
it's
ritualistic.
Different. Okay. Gotcha.
So
you sit this is part of you opening your senses, as I've described before. Yeah. This is like the beginning of trying to cast this communication ability. Yeah.
Try and see if I can understand what the animals in the bushes, if they might be saying something of note of the forest area.
Pretty much all you hear, and I don't like to think of Speak with Animals as all of a sudden all animals speak common, because that feels, or Sylvan for that matter, that feels weird, but you get the sense from these animals that they're just food, must find food. Where is food? And the birds above, the ones you hear like squawking and making sounds, is food over here! And then you hear a billion other crows and ravens and the like flying those directions. It's pretty much all animals are doing in this area.
Is there one of the critters that might be
you'll
closer to me?
You'll be able to locate some of them.
Okay, then I'll try to say, I'll try to communicate that I have some food here if one of them will come closer.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Food? Yes, please.
Natural 20.
You see what appears to be a small squirrel-like creature. It's not exactly a squirrel as you know it from the material plane, but I suppose you can say the Feywild version of what would have been a squirrel. You see it kind of come out from behind a tree chunk. Be like, and you sat there with a couple of. What do you have in your hands?
I'll give
nuts,
some of my rations.
Yeah. So you take out a ration of food, which would be some dried berries, some nuts, and you see how this squirrel just comes over.
Come here, little one. I would like to know if you have perceived anything.
It kind of just scatters forward a little bit, like from side to side, making its way over towards you.
If you tell me if you have experienced something out of the ordinary these past day, in this forest, I will give you some food.
It burns. Everything burns.
What burns?
Everything. Look around you. Everything burns. This is no place for anyone. This is our place.
Have you seen the dragon?
No, the dragon's gone.
The dragon's gone. Yes. How long?
Food.
I give him some food.
And you see how it just kind of starts chewing it up very quickly.
The big green. The big green fly is no more.
Is it dead?
Doesn't move.
I give him some more food.
As you give him another bunch of food, you see that slowly out of kind of the corner of your eye, a virvar, whatever that is in English, of rats, mouses, squirrels, small birds, different animals just start jumping forward.
Food. Food.
Animals, please tell me, in what direction does the dragon lie?
Pointing you in, essentially in the direction you were already heading, but maybe a bit off the trail that you were on.
I throw the last of that ration to all the animals there.
You would see how they pretty much just all jump at it at the same time, and where some animals might not be carnivores or trying to attack other animals, they get very feisty very quickly, and
I try to calm them down.
yeah.
And I
wait a moment. Apparently very not so loud. They start fighting each other. All these animals. Yep, remember that was the first net one of the first roll of the day for the DM, and they're very quiet while fighting each other for food, because apparently animals don't do sounds when they're doing activities. That is very unlike animals to do. Oh, I'm on Facebook.
I also
close that down.
Pour out some water from my water skin a bit farther away, just to scatter them out a bit.
Yeah. You in an attempt, it's as if the water doesn't really influence much. They don't seem thirsty really. They are just all longing for food. But you kind of splashing the water in their direction does make them scatter a bit more. And as they start slowly one by one, kind of one finds a little nut, runs off with that. A mouse finds a piece of a berry, runs off with that. You essentially see how there's pretty much nothing left. All there is a couple of dead animals, probably the smallest ones in all of this, just lying there. A mouse or a small hamster-looking creature or something like that.
All right, so very small, not eatable.
The smallest that might have been completely tumbled in the battle for the food that you threw to them. Right. And you should remove a ration from your inventory.
Yes.
Yes.
I kind of take a moment just to think of the creatures and regret that my actions had this effect, but also still know that it's part of nature that the weak.
Also, you did feed somewhere around 20 creatures and 2 died, so yes. Yeah.
And then I just let go of the spell and get back to my watch.
Yeah. You see how they also how as the animals all leave, they don't necessarily say thanks, but they all look back at you before like scattering into the woods like a nut, and then running off into the woods. But all of them looking, I mean, if you've ever seen a very skinny dog, then this would be the skinny version of all the animals that you see. But this is the first time on your trails out of Mithrenda that you've really been up close to the animals and had a chance to examine them the way that that you've done here. Your watch comes to an end, and I'm assuming you're doing, like, how many shifts do you have per person per? thing.
I guess.
2-hour shifts. We have 2 shifts left.
4, 6.
I would say 3. But I would say 3
I'll take the
people splitting a long shift would. I mean, also because you're in a place where you literally don't know if there's a whatever the hell coming right around the corner. You would want to be
But I
as
guess
fresh as
we're
possible.
only going to get like 6 or 7 hours of sleep. That's
Exactly.
all,
So you
right?
would split it between 3 and be like 2.5 hours per person,
Yeah.
just so that you know you're all as fresh and can be and as good to go when you wake up. Not that it matters a whole lot in this case, but just so I know and you know for future notice. You start your shift seek and anything particular you want to do?
Sitting staring at the ring, I guess. Wondering
Which you have on your finger.
which I have on my finger. And
You, I mean,
yeah.
look at it and see how it still pulses with this flame.
Yeah.
As not that it's like a flame coming out of it, but as if within the ring there's just a. You know how you have like the top and the bottom, and then a middle part. Sometimes the top and the bottom is one color, and the middle part, like the band around, is another color. This is essentially just a continuous like flames
Stream of
on
flames.
the ring. Yeah,
And then I just.
it doesn't hurt you or burn you in any way.
But I can't
Yet.
get it off.
It seems very tight.
Yeah. And then I just think of this being the Summer Queen.
Mhm.
I don't remember the name.
Chandra.
Chandra, exactly.
Mhm.
And just see if I can find that sort of. I was told she was just living at the Summer Palace, and she was the Queen of the Summer. Then I try to think of this is.
You were not told that she lives at the Summer Palace.
That's the brother of
It's the brother.
of the goddess we encountered at the other place. Chandra is her mother. Makes
I
sense.
think in my head.
Inspiration.
I mean, you might think that it's.
Yeah.
who knows?
Inspiration.
We're getting closer. Getting closer.
Verinestra was
Yes.
the goddess that we met.
And then I just.
And Hirsham is at the temple, should be at the temple.
Yeah.
Her brother.
Hearsay.
Okay.
Hearsay.
Hearsay.
It's hearsay.
Then I
Is
just
that his name?
think of try to find that warmth and that feeling of summers in Middle Oak, and trying to bring some nature back in my own heart at least. Just sit
The
there.
warmth isn't difficult to connect to in the sense that it isn't really cold where you are, but the origin of the heat is what differentiates. Where in Little Oak it would be like the nice comfort of the sun, whereas to here you know it's various small fires scattered around the place that pretty much heats up what is the Feywild right now.
Yeah. And then I just sit there looking at my friends and these new companions. Just take it to heart, taking it all in. More rest.
As everyone slowly starts waking up, Gimplark is the first one that wakes and comes over to you. Good morning.
Morning.
I guess. I fixed this for you.
Oh, the wand.
Well, yes, you wanted it fixed, didn't you?
Yeah, thank you so much.
There you go.
Cool.
Wasn't that the fireball?
Habibi AJ. Did you take from the trolley, yes? Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
You will
Did
take
you
the
find
lot.
out? Do we know what it does yet? It's a gun.
It's your attunement, isn't it?
What?
It's your attunement, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah.
Wait, did I write to you that it requires attunement? I might actually have
No, I don't think
written
so.
that it doesn't. I don't think it requires attunement, no. But I did give you what it does, didn't I?
It's the necrotic
necro
damage.
wand.
Yeah, necro
Yes.
wand.
Okay, chaotic evil?
No.
Not yet.
No.
Unless.
Just
Wand.
because you do necrotic damage doesn't mean you're evil.
I had a necrotic spell as bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And clerics can do
Cleric?
Call of the Dead.
Tola the
That
dead.
is true.
Yeah.
A lot. So
You're
they're so
sleeping.
evil.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm thinking only good thoughts.
Try to use that on
Thinking about
some of the
glowing
enemies
things?
Yeah.
next time.
And if anybody else wants it, they can have it, of course.
It is limited what I can do, but as long as it ain't more complicated than that, then
Thank you so much.
it should be doable.
And you just literally see how, where before it was snapped, and you pretty much only had, the halves. To you, it would look like he just put duct tape around it. That is not the case, because it is, you don't know what duct tape is, but it seems to be something like fancy tape.
Yeah.
Clearly magical tape.
Is it Ron's wand in Chamber of Secrets kind of thing?
It doesn't
the
make you
snail
puke
wand.
snails.
No.
No.
Yes.
Yet.
Backfires though.
But it is,
And can anybody use it? I don't think it says. Is it only me?
it's just a wand.
Try to use it. Next time. All right, I go to Galleon.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have? Did we get a long rest?
You would all have gotten the long rest, yes.
Yes.
I really didn't need that, but it's all right.
I did.
Galleon,
Yes.
I spent some time on my watch, communing with the beasts of the land.
You did.
I did.
You guys might have had dreams
What
of
did they tell you?
creatures.
What?
I seem to think that this dragon that we are going towards might be dead, or might be hindered in flying anymore.
Dead.
Not that I can add anything to your way of believing, but knowing the size of this creature, a galleon, I think you would have a hard time believing that anything or anyone could slay it.
I mean, Raskoreth is a massive beast. If anyone has slayed him, that would take a lot of force.
All right. Well, I just think that we
But
should.
you said that he might be alive.
Yes, of course. I am not certain of anything. I could just sense from the animals that he flies no more, so they haven't seen him for a long time.
Should we go help him? If he's in danger, he could be an ally, a powerful ally in this.
He would be a powerful ally. Indeed.
We
But
should quicken our pace.
What if they've chained him down like with the Tiandra?
in any case, I think we should be on our guards. I don't. If Raskoreth is not flying, I think something is terribly wrong.
Yes.
Let's go check.
He is a mighty and powerful beast.
Well, let's find him and see if we can help him, or we have to run really, really fast. Maybe you can use that spell again.
Sure.
Well, if he's awake and attacks.
Of course.
You...
Or
Good morning, Dominic.
good morning. Sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning.
Oh, it's okay.
Thank you.
Morgs.
I know.
Oh,
think he's
there
just a
goes
bit
that
slow.
inspiration.
No. Are we going?
Yes, we're leaving.
Okay.
You wake up, like you're sitting up as everyone is almost done packing up their tents and whatnot. So are we leaving soon? Just, fuck you, Dominic.
You know, I need my beauty sleep, you know, it's very good, you know. That's,
I don't remember.
right.
Grimlock?
Glimbark.
Gim, like Gimli. Clark, as in
Gimlark.
plank with an R instead of an N.
So,
Gimlark.
Bringlark.
Gimlark fixed this.
The wand.
It's a wand, yeah, and
Yes.
it can be used at a distance, and maybe one of you wants a distance weapon.
I think I'm fine without the magic. That's
does
not
it do?
really my kind of.
It
Thing.
shoots a bit of bad magic, you can say. Just to it's
That's a sales pitch.
Aquatic magic?
Yes.
Because we've encountered that before.
yes, exactly
Okay,
the
that's
same
good.
thing. Yeah, it's
Like the one that
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Shadowkais has in there.
Why don't you keep it?
well, it's
It's the one from the witch.
Of course,
you know,
but
remember that?
I
I don't mind taking it if these
course.
two can't see use of having
But
ranged
you don't really have any useful ranged weapons, do you?
Well, if I am ever in a point where I can't get to an enemy, a ranged weapon is useful.
Of course.
Well, I'll go with my.
Crossbow.
You have a crossbow. I see.
Sure, of course.
Right.
You have the wand.
Right.
So, did you make it an item?
I do believe so, but I don't know if I did it right. I will send it to
D&D, the musical.
So, Gimplark, have you encountered any poisons or acids or anything of that sort?
Yes. You see how it just pretty much takes out of a backpack like three bottles. Quite literally has a backpack. Yes, I have a few. Why?
It's just because I have this and I pull out my my
Stinger?
tail, stinger, and
That's what
well,
you said.
usually this holds acid, but right now it just holds some. Well, don't ask. Some eye juice.
He starts putting his like potions back
It's
again. Can I see it for a second?
Of course.
Where did you buy this?
I didn't. I pulled it out of a worm.
That we killed.
Where did you buy this?
No, we
In a
killed it.
sewer. From a worm.
Why?
I pulled it out. Can you fill it with poison for me, please? Can I have
That's just the 5 of you, right?
Yes.
Yes, and we were.
And it used to just be 3.
No, we were 5.
We
You
were
were
5, then we were
five.
3, then we were 5.
So the 5 of you, with
Yes.
2 missing,
2 from the other round.
yes,
Yeah.
killed this. And you see us like, killed this. Was this before or after you had this whole divine experience?
After. Right?
Oh,
We were in the sewers.
We were in the sewers. Divine experience.
What
Yeah,
divine
remember with the goddess lifting me up, fighting the shadow being.
Oh, yeah,
everything.
that's
That was
after the divine-
You
that
see,
was
you
after,
see
yeah.
Morgs kind of peeking over.
Can I have my tail back? And I would like
Oh, yes.
Stinger.
how much my stinger. How much do you take for poisons? Some of that in your vial.
Oh, I ain't interested in selling things.
What do
I'm
you
a
use
little
it for?
curious, though. Exactly how
I also have
did
this.
the 3 of you
5.
manage to kill a purple worm?
Well, I wrote it and pulled that one out.
Yeah.
And I hit it.
We also killed the Cyclops, apparently.
No, I don't know what a cyclops is, but I do know about worms.
Yeah.
Well, we,
Well,
killed,
is it so?
we also killed some
impossible
big
to-
frog thing.
Oh yeah.
That's true. And the sewer beast.
Yes.
The weird tangle
Listen,
monster.
it's
Yeah.
from another realm. You've been to the
But-
Forgotten Realm.
Purple worms.
Yeah.
Are
Have you
they-
been to Cremor?
No.
No.
Well,
Those sewers
purple
don't go
worm.
down there.
Well, you're a man of the trade.
A tree?
A
Trade.
trade? Yeah, you trade things?
Sometimes.
Is that worm stinger worth a lot to you? Would it be?
Oh, well, had it had its original poisons in it, then I'm sure it could go for quite a bit.
Well, you can just find any poison and put in.
Okay. You do that.
Well,
Should have
you seem
taken
shocked
some
that we killed this purple worm. Is it?
Well, you see, now, since you fought one, I suppose you're really aware of this, but I guess if you haven't, let me explain to you exactly how purple worms work.
No,
They
we
wiggle around.
How
They eat-
big was this purple worm that you fought?
It ate a few halflings.
yeah, quite big.
A few halflings, okay.
How big was this purple worm?
Well, this was its stinger.
I mean, everything's got a tip.
Well, it went
Oh,
through
well, I
the
used
can-
this as a
the
sword.
canal in the sewers.
Yeah.
Are we talking?
No, I wrote it.
Was
Yeah.
No, I mean like the width of it.
How big was that? Was it
5
like
meters
this?
wide?
not long, right?
No, wide.
So,
It was wide.
purple worms, the purple worms that I've seen anyway, and been lucky to live to see another day from, I should add, quite a bit bigger than what you described.
And he tells you of purple worms, and you learn meta that purple worms have a challenge rating of 15.
It was a baby.
It was a very, very small purple worm you were fighting.
But do you have any poisons that maybe I can use?
No, I don't, but I'm sure we can
So what's a baby?
maybe find some along the way.
Is
I,
it?
I guess it must.
These would break
But
it.
do you,
the mother
do you
still
know
in
how to find poisons and stuff like that? Because I would love to learn.
I'll explain it to you when we get the chance.
Great. What about this? I pull out the Otik tooth. Is this worth anything to you?
Haven't seen one of those before.
Well, then it must be a lot.
Worth
a lot.
nothing.
I mean,
It looks pointy, looks sharp.
baby
It's a
worm
tooth.
there. Didn't
Yeah, the mother.
From a monster.
So pointy and sharp. That's what tooths
Well, I
do.
mean, it could have been taken from
It's a tooth.
man.
Okay.
Killed an orphan?
I'm sure
Is
you
there
can
any-
point something at it.
Are there any ways to
It ate
sharpen
people.
this?
Well, yes, with a
People?
knife.
Do you have any tools for that? Because, well, again, can you show me? Because I would love to learn. I can do it
Don't-
myself, but
Well, yeah, I don't think sharpening a tooth is the most difficult thing to do.
it's just I usually just use my hands.
Me
I
too.
noticed that. Do you have anything you could sharpen it with?
Well, I have a short bow.
Now that's gonna work perfectly, my son.
Short bow.
bedroll.
Just to be.
I have a mess kit. No, I don't have
No.
a small knife.
So,
we are walking while we're doing this.
No!
I'm thinking.
Standing still.
I'm thinking we are
I
starting.
suppose we could. I mean, it's kind of ironic. There were plenty of swords and daggers and whatnot back at the battlefield. Should just take one of
can't.
those.
But can
I
you
have a-
sharpen a tooth with
Well, I mean,
a
the
sword?
sword is up enough.
I've got a hand axe if you like
I've
to.
got a dagger.
And a dagger.
Oh, okay, well,
You're literally asking just to cut
Okay,
into
cool.
bone, right?
I would love to use that dagger then.
You are becoming a dentist.
Please open up. So these worms are.
Dangerous.
Do they like reside inside sewers regularly, or
Well, underground, overground.
so how would one end up in a sewer in a city?
Probably someone laid an egg there once.
How long do
Or an
those-
egg was placed there.
That makes sense.
Wasn't there?
Probably someone stole an egg and put it there.
Maybe.
You know,
But
'Cause
where
we had
would
all
they
the-
steal an egg from?
A purple mother worm.
maybe well, I mean, after all that happened, and everything
I-
that was in the
not
sewers, it
judging at all.
makes sense that someone would. I mean, yeah.
Well, Galleon,
Yeah,
where do we have any idea how far we have to go until we're at the dragon's lair?
Dragon Slayer?
let me just check.
You have never known there to be a lair. You just know that the dragon roams the forest.
Okay.
The forest pretty much is the dragon's lair, hence why you can't really do anything in the forest.
I think if I passed through here before,
Yeah.
and I know about the dragon, maybe I would know something about signs of the dragon.
Yeah. When you see something incredibly big in the sky, or hear a roar, or
That might be a dragon.
something similar, you might think, "Oh damn, that might be a dragon." But no, there isn't. There isn't really. There isn't. I mean, again, the terrain around here has changed quite drastically, and there were never really signs. It was as if Raskareth just, if he really wanted to talk to you,
He would have
he
found us.
kind of just got there. As if when you try and spawn a mount in a single-player RPG game and it just spawns right behind you, no matter what direction you're looking in. It just tended to
Spawn a mountain?
Just there.
Mount.
I think what I was hinting at
Yeah.
was, could I roll for something?
There isn't really, no, not in this case, a whole lot to roll for.
Well then,
You know that you're headed through the woods and you are going towards the lake, and I mean, you know still the direction is the same direction as the animals were pointing in.
Yeah.
And you've walked for maybe an hour or so since you...
While walking,
Left camp.
I take out my whetstone.
Yeah.
And I try to just sharpen my axe and kind of commune with it while walking, thinking about the troubles that might be ahead of us.
Yeah.
And I would like to try and sharpen that dog tooth.
Again, yeah. I mean, you can walk and do these things in some of the terrain. Of course, whenever you're maneuvering over and under different things, it's a little difficult to walk around with sharpening tools in the meantime. But yeah,
I'm walking with.
you go and clean your weapons
around.
essentially,
Yes.
and make them
I'm
pointy and
walking around
sharpy.
with you,
Just gonna brush my teeth.
But you can't. You
joking
can. I
about
mean,
this
whenever
guy.
you get to a city, you can purchase like sharpening for weapons that allows you +1 for, I think, 3 attacks or something like that.
Okay.
But that is not what you're doing here while you're walking. Maybe if you spend rests on it, you can. Especially if you have a whetstone, you can actually do things that make your weapons like temporarily better.
I have a whetstone.
Yeah, exactly. So whenever you're in like spending longer time doing it, and not just kind of doing it while walking, you can actually do things that would help improve your work.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you wander through the scorched forest, which are you just walking as a bunch?
Yes.
I'm just looking. I was looking at the figures, but they didn't represent how you were actually
I'm
walking.
walking this way.
Well, we are walking on some kind of.
I would imagine that Galleon and Theragar maybe walks in front.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would definitely be in the front position.
And then
I'm
you
probably
have
by Gimplark.
You and Gimplark are walking together.
I think like if you've ever seen the way wolf packs they walk, they have a leader in front and a leader in the back.
So would you be in the back now that you know where you're going?
No, then I will be in the back.
Right.
Okay.
To the back, to the back.
I have no idea what's happening.
I would like to approach Theragar.
Yeah.
And you mentioned a name when you spoke to your tribal member, and to take care of him.
That's right.
I hope you don't mind me asking, but who are you referring to?
Well, being in a tribe, you have to look out for each other. I had a young charge.
Like a son?
No, not my son. I trained him in the ways of the warrior. His name is Ukumir. And he is the son of my old teacher, Gore Strongblade. I have been watching out for him for many years. And it's not been easy to walk around this hellish place and not knowing if he was safe. So I'm praying. Praying to my God and hope that somehow the things I've taught him has helped him survive. Back true, be willing.
You honestly those no. You continue further forward, and now I can't see. It is Theragar. Theragar, make a perception.
I'm in the back.
Oh, sorry. Galleon, make a perception check.
Perception.
Yeah,
That
please.
is a 16.
16. You see up ahead about 50 meters or so, kind of in between all these very darkened trees, what appears to be a faint green light coming from a clearing.
I give the signal to the others to stop and point in the direction of the light.
As Galleon kind of informs the group to stop moving, you all stop and kind of over each other's shoulders and around each other's backs, you notice that in front of you indeed is a small clearing. You can't see into the clearing yet, you can just see that up ahead the trees kind of clear out and there's a green light as if reflected in something else kind of shining further forward.
And I say to the others, I think we should be quiet and try and move closer.
Stealthily closer or just closer?
stealthily closer.
I would like for everyone to make a stealth check.
I believe in myself.
Advantage.
You have advantage. You have advantage.
You don't have disadvantage.
I have advantage.
But who
Nobody
has
does.
the other mask? Does he?
I
have a
He
mask.
has a
But
You
But
have
I'm not
advantage.
but I'm not using it right now.
No,
No,
but when you have it on, you have
Yeah,
advantage.
if you have it on, then you have advantage if it hasn't been used this long rest
Mm.
or this day.
Okay, but it hasn't.
No,
Then
then you
you
have
have
it.
But it hasn't.
Or the hustle.
Hey,
Okay. So,
21.
11.
11.
That's a
Rollies.
I have disadvantage in a roll of 5.
and I rolled a 7.
Maybe Galleon needs that mask.
so you start maneuvering forward, and while trying to be stealthy, the combination of all your gear, a 2.5, almost 3 meter tall Morgs, not exactly being the easiest creature to hide, and scorched and completely crisp branches under your feet make it very difficult to go soundproof or completely silent. So you can't avoid making and like sounds
Very well.
as you maneuver further forward. As you approach the clearing, nonetheless, it is very, very quiet around here.
I'm stealthy like.
Stealthily eating and like Dominic
Eating a ration.
taking a ration out of his backpack while he's walking.
Oh, I love the crispy parts.
So nasty.
You realize that the light is reflecting off of scales of a massive creature lying completely motionless, chained to the ground. The creature is covered in thick green scales that
not a
seem
dragon,
to shimmer in the dim lights. It has massive wings that are pretty much folded into the side of its body, and a long tail that just continues into or out of this clearing again. As you approach or get closer, you may be now 20-25 meters away from this being. You see that the creature is probably larger than any creature you've ever seen before. It's easily more than like 80 feet tall, so that would be around 25 meters long.
I wouldn't die for that.
I would like to scout for any enemies that might be
Make an investigation
helping
check.
holding captain.
Make an investigation check.
Investigation check.
Investigation, that is, well, a 5.
And you're ambushed. No, you.
I see.
I don't see anyone.
Everything seems clear.
You don't even notice the dragon. No, you you stop, and instead of looking towards this creature, you start looking around, trying to make sure there's no one around. But again, it is incredibly quiet here, and you don't sense there being anyone around.
Are there any wounds on the dragon? Does it breathe?
You move closer to kind of try and investigate this being further. You see that as you come around the side of it, the scales seem pretty intact. While there are various cut marks, it's as if nothing ever really broke through the scales themselves. But on the front of it, you see that there are deep gorges and puncture wounds, some of which are still kind of oozing this dark ichor that is kind of splatting onto the ground. The eyes of this being, which head is probably the size of, well, the tallest of you, are completely glassy and lifeless. And it's as if it's just gonna stare us off into the distance. The wings, as you come around, seem completely torn and kind of shredded. And its neck just seems like it's kind of lying, turned like unnatural, backwards, weird direction.
So it has open eyes.
It has open eyes, yes. Its claws and teeth still seem to bear a sign of struggle, like as if there's been a battle happening here. And you can see that spears, while you couldn't see them on the scales themselves, kind of in between some of the scales, and definitely also in the stomach and chest area, there are arrows and spears and various, ranged weapons, pretty much sticking out everywhere.
How does it smell here? Does it smell of decay or?
No, you die. Dominic, make a
smelling check.
Survival check.
Make a survival check. That's actually a good bet.
You don't mean Kevin?
Nope.
Okay. Damn it.
It's too low to the ground.
Oh.
I can't reach the smell.
I can't reach the smell.
19.
You.
What is it?
As you kind of.
I feel like Kevin is a hobbit.
As you kind of start smelling, and you realize Gimplak doing the same thing, as you kind of come around the front or the belly of this beast, you smell a pretty pristine odor of poison. Not that it's, on you or within you, but clearly this being seems to contain, or at least it's as if a stench of poisonous, whatever that may be, emanates from this being. Whether it's the dark ooze or like goo stuff, or it's the creature itself, you don't know.
Okay, but it's around like the belly. Or
just the creature as a whole. As you come around the side of it, you pretty much just see Gimplak go, holy
I nudged to him and say, I told you there would be a dragon.
Gallium, this is a fucking gold mine.
Well, this
you know how much these scales are worth?
Keep your hands away from them.
Do you mean like you can put it on armor?
You can do anything with it, buddy. Gallion, it's dead. Don't tell me we're looking at an ancient green dragon and that we can't loot it.
That was the
I'm
chaotic.
ordering you. You are not allowed to touch this dragon.
You see how Gimplak just starts looking at the rest of you.
It smells pretty weird.
I go up. Can I go up behind him? And
behind who?
grab it too.
Behind Gimplak.
And you would notice you going behind him, but
just stand behind him.
You have my sword.
He would notice you standing behind him, but
you have an axe.
Yeah, he would just look at you weirdly, like.
That's fine.
It smells kind of weird, guys. Like
He would probably, as you do that, probably just take a step back and stand next to you instead.
This is absolutely horrific.
Are we sure it's that?
Exactly.
Sorry.
No. Are we sure it's dead?
How would
I know it looks, but we can try something.
How would they kill a dragon?
Do I remember if the dragon spoke a language? Like Sylvan or Common?
It would speak Sylvan as well as, you don't understand it, but it speak a dragon tongue that you've never learned. But it would speak Sylvan as well, yes.
I would like to get closer to it and put my hand on its snout.
Yeah.
And say in Sylvan, Mighty Raskoreth, if you're alive, give us a sign.
You don't, as you stand, even though you've seen this being before, stood literally right in front of its teeth, knowing what this beast is capable of, even though you feel like it's probably dead, it's still... Yeah, exactly.
Calm it down.
Yeah, it's... it's still pretty intimidating to stand at the mouth of even a potentially dead dragon, but you don't get any response, and there don't seem to be any signs of life from it either.
Is a dragon, is that a beast, or is that like a monster or something?
Monstrosity.
I'll try to look at the weapons that are lodged in the creature, see if any of them seem special in a way, or...
It seems like a variety of, arrows, the same that you've seen from the shadow, like the lesser Shadowkai that you fought earlier, spears that seem like pretty ordinary throwing spears. Okay. And then you have these big chains that are kind of over over the top of it, and you just see Gimplar going, guys.
If you go anywhere near that creature,
mine.
I'm gonna stun.
Listen up.
You wanted poison, right?
Yes.
This
is like one of the most poisonous creatures in the world.
Honestly, smells like poison.
But we need to know what's going on before we do anything else.
Yes.
Tell you what, small one. Let's start by freeing this creature from the chains and taking all the weapons that have been lodged in it. Put it in a pile here. See if there's something of there that you can use in the beginning. How about that?
Now, I don't know about you, but some of these Shadowkai people, they have these chains as well. I tried to take one once, hurt like hell. Don't advise it. This chain is a lot bigger, and it's probably gonna hurt a lot more if we touch it.
We should destroy it then.
What about the gloves? The gloves from the
Break
table.
it.
What do you mean the?
Maybe it's the
I
same
don't have anything that could break that kind of chain.
These are, clearly meant to hold down a dragon of an ancient green dragon.
Can I go over there and see, and not necessarily feel them, but recognize them as the Shadowkai chain?
You would know them to be the same dark, like metal or material, and these ones have a clear. Where before you could kind of feel the necrotic energy within the chain, as if like with static electricity, when you take your hand real close to something, it gives like small pebbles.
Yeah.
This pretty much just vibrates of death.
Okay, I'm not gonna touch that.
Satyr, do you have some magic that could destroy these chains? Must be powerful.
See how Gimplar just starts walking around this creature, like kind of looking at the mouth, looking at the belly, looking at different things as you're talking, and Morg is just like...
I'm just putting it out there. This is a dead dragon, right?
Very dead.
Yeah, yes. And whoever killed this dragon might still be around. I mean... Whatever, I mean, the Shadowkai.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, you think it's just all of that remains on the battlefield? They killed this beast?
If they destroy the entire Fey realm, as we have seen on the way here, that seemed like a small...
That's true.
A small feat also
to kill
destroy an ancient dragon, to destroy an entire realm.
What do you know of dragons, boy?
Nothing. Nothing else but lore and
read
in books. Never seen something, and it tears my heart open to just see something as magnificent as this being destroyed.
I mean, think of it this way. The dragon ain't no good to nobody as dead, but it contains a lot of things that we could potentially use, Galleon, on our quest to save the Feywild.
That is, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily normally
I haven't
agree
sensed
with
that the mist is trying to tell me something indirectly.
Not at all. This is literally a question of morale from someone who gives zero fucks about everything or anything to the group who...
Normally I wouldn't.
But no.
Not at all. This is again, there's going to be moments where you guys will be presented with opportunities to do things that might or might not be quote unquote better at different things, but you could also take a sword and like from a guard and stab him, but you wouldn't want to stab a guard just to get a better weapon. So
would you say that
it's up to you. I'm just presenting you with this situation.
Would we maybe I don't know, it's because I usually don't really like taking you know, things in general from people, but would it be maybe honoring the dragon if we...
I love how we're looking at the
screen. Hi Neil. Would it maybe honor the dragon's you know, existence and death if we made use of some of its well, corpse?
I guess I'm still standing near the snout of the
you would be
apparently dead dragon.
Yes.
Just because
I in Sylvan quietly says to Raskareth, Mighty Raskareth, I'm sorry, but thank you for your sacrifice. And I pull out my scimitar.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I leave it at some point where if there's any point that I know that might be magical stuff or valuable stuff, like the teeth or the eyes or something.
I
lived in the woods. I guess I
no. I mean, you know of dragons. You know of dragons, and you know that they have incredibly sharp teeth, and you know that their claws are incredibly sharp. And you have known of material being made from like dragon hide and scales. But just cleaving it once with a scimitar wouldn't grant you a whole lot. If you guys want to do anything to get stuff from the body of this being, it would take a while.
Okay,
by all means, but I start like cutting into it.
So what would you like to start with? What would you like to start with?
Is this
Well,
like
that's the question. Do I know which part would be obvious to start with?
I mean, depends on what you're looking for.
I guess.
The scales.
I'd like some skills.
Just
Anything
think what
that
would Galleon?
If you're about to I don't know what the.
I mean, the obvious to you, since you stood at the stout, would probably be to try and pull out one of the teeth.
Yes. I would definitely do that.
Yeah. So that's what happens next. Is that you say in Sylvan, thanks for
The sacrifice.
thanks for your sacrifice, and the rest of you see him, Galleon, start walking out over the side of it, and literally just, it's not a one pull thing, start trying to yank loose one of its teeth.
Well, okay, I get this, but where are we supposed to keep all these things? We don't have any way of transporting it, and we can't just be carrying around a big ancient green dragon.
But we'll just
Break out its head!
But we'll just take some of the things from it. It's not like we're parting the entire dragon and putting it in our backpacks.
I mean, it would take you like 3 carts if you were to literally cut it from like tail to nose, but
we might as well
that's
make
probably
use
also
of
not what you're
some of the the scales, or maybe it's hide, or maybe some of the poison for your tooth stinger tail thing.
Maybe just a teeth. A tooth.
So I guess, like Galleon said, half the heart of Fulkite, and was that right, Galleon?
Leg of life.
Leg of life.
He said thank you for your sacrifice.
Exactly.
You really need to learn, Sylvan.
I'll get better.
you're the teacher.
I'll get better.
I know. I really need to start teaching you.
So I'll say
with the teacher, man.
So I say itadakimasu and
you speak Draconic?
and
That would be
Gimblark, Gimblark.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can maybe we should just take what we need and.
But are we sure that this
It's
is
dead.
I mean, it's pulling its teeth out. Seems pretty dead to me.
He's very dead.
Yes.
He is.
What about that thing oozing out?
Well, I think that's death oozing out and poison from its belly or its body.
Would I, from all
Something
the
like
things, like being told by the druids and also the Barsoon's father, I don't remember the name by now,
Zephyr, yeah.
Would I have been told about dragons and
Only that they are very big, very respectable,
Yeah.
I guess,
foes? And
creatures.
beings. Not, you don't even consider them like beasts or monsters, or they are pretty much the protectors of, I mean,
yeah.
not existence, but you know.
But
like,
more like, would they have some sort of? Would I know that they had some lair where they kept nice things?
no.
Good.
And this, no. Just
Okay.
no. Maybe you've heard of it in
No.
fairy tales, but nothing that you would necessarily
Read in books.
think of
that-
as a thing. And also you've heard from Galleon maybe on the way you've asked about it. This one
Yeah.
seems to be a protector of the woods more than a
Dragon
hoarder of shiny things.
Makes the sense.
All right, so I would very much like to
see if I can take some of the scales out
Yes.
and stash it.
This is crazy.
You
Yes.
start kind of again. This is essentially like 1.5 to 2 school buses
Yeah.
worth of creature.
I'm thinking.
So you start climbing up the belly
kilos.
side
Yeah.
of this, and pretty much just start with. Do you have a short sword as well?
I do have a short
Yeah,
sword.
with
no,
your
I
shorts?
have a normal sword.
Long sword.
Long
a
sword.
sword.
Long sword. You only have your reacher, or you have?
I have reacher, long sword, and crossbow.
Okay, so you take your long sword in one hand and pretty much just start kind of trying.
Chipping off.
Yeah, essentially try and cut loose some of these scales.
Yeah.
Again, it's pretty delicate, or hard work, I should say. I would like for you
Yeah.
to make a sleight of hand check.
Yes. Damn it.
Yes, fuck.
No, it might be fucked. 8.
Yeah, that's what you start doing. And you're working on the teeth, Galleon, right?
Yes.
Yes. You
Yes.
continue doing that.
And also, right now, I can tell you I'm Googling how to part a whale, so I would know a bit more.
You don't have to learn how to carve a whale, Galleon. It's okay.
You asked for it.
I would like to find a tooth as well, and to look at that.
As you start walking around this, and both Galleon starts doing one thing, and he starts climbing up on the back of it. Gimplark comes to you. So,
Well, if we're doing this anyway and you wanted to learn about poisons, don't really get anywhere better than this.
Okay, and do you think this can hold it?
I mean, I guess there's only one way to find out.
It's not acid, right? It's not acid, right?
Oh, okay. Let's try it.
But we have to be extremely careful.
Yeah.
You walk up to the side of this creature again, near the belly, and you see how Gimplark starts kind of patting it on the belly, every different places, and then walks further up the side, as the sound kind of changes to be more hollow.
I think this is about right.
And then he just kind of walks back. And as it takes it in, you literally see it's not a acidy a liquid. It's just
gas.
a puff of coming out, and he goes.
Don't breathe.
And then he goes back, takes one of his vials, just kind of takes it over the top, and takes it back again. And goes like,
You need a hand, and a mage hand just appears in front of you.
My tooth.
Yeah.
Put it to the hole.
You take the. Can a mage hand take damage?
No, I don't think so. No.
Spectral.
My
You can't
stinger
just
can only
attack.
hold poison up to 2d8 damage per hit.
What happens as you take this stinger over is that you see how the poison coming up literally just starts
Corroding.
corroding your stinger.
Yeah. No, take it back!
And you're stood
It's gone.
with a somewhat not worthwhile piece of tail.
You see, this,
Gimplark?
I figured this might happen, but...
Why did
But...
you tell me?
Well, I didn't know for sure, and we had to test it. But...
Why did you sound so sure?
But...
What about its tooth?
How about its tooth?
Or,
I didn't.
I mean, if we have purple worm tails,
Well,
How
we don't
about-
have any more.
how about dragon tails?
You're an idiot, Kevin! I just shout from the.
If
back
your
of the-
purple worm thing isn't good
But
enough,
A dragon doesn't have a stinger, does it?
But a dragon has its tail. God damn it.
And its
if
teeth!
if a purple worm, this thing,
Kind of stood with half of it left. I suppose you have it.
Yeah.
can't contain what's in there, then imagine what the thing that can contain it can do.
That is true.
Do you want me to fill some more vials while doing this?
You see how the vial that he put kind of in a thing in a bag the glass is slowly starting to evaporate as well.
His bag is.
I don't think I don't think I brought the right equipment for this type of being.
I go up to the two. No, I look at Gimplark. So, show me what you mean, and like literally take him to the tail.
You
What do I
start
need?
grabbing his clothes.
Yeah.
He immediately pushes you off and go.
I will show you.
Take a
Starts
10-minute walk.
walking down towards the tail, and again, this tail is, I mean, that direction.
A little 10-minute
But
walk.
you, no. But you start walking out. In the meantime, the two of you.
So the worm sting is gone, right?
It would need some
Mending.
supervision in order to be at least capable. I mean, the stinger is still a sharp stinger,
Okay.
but it's just the whole poison pouch thing that it had inside seems to be pretty not in best shape.
Okay.
Well, I go to the head of the dragon. I put my hand on the forehead and
Mm-hmm.
never really, as I think, never seen a creature of
No.
this magnitude before.
No.
I'm just both scared and surprised about
Mhm.
the size of a creature like this and something actually being able to defeat it. Does it have horns?
It does, but they are very big.
Oh, okay.
It's a tree.
Like what about
To
a tip
compare,
of the
I have
horn?
an image here to compare
A
the
tip of the
size.
horn.
I have an image here to compare the size for you. If you look at, if you compare this to human size, this is the size of it.
Okay.
So look where the human is.
Oh.
This is the size of this being. So a horn would probably be 2.5, 3 meters long.
I can see it.
Oh, sorry, one sec.
It has
One
pillars
sec.
on it.
So it is a temple in
I
itself.
guess it's big.
Yes.
Look at the little dot on the bottom. That's a human.
Doesn't really matter.
Well, okay, that's quite big.
Yes,
I'm
that
glad
is
we didn't
quite
have to
big.
fight this.
Then I would like to see if I can get like a tip, the tip of a horn.
You can either, yeah, you can either do that or around its. One moment.
Wow.
Its fangs. The no, wait, one second.
His teeth are so big. Maybe it could become
Where I put you? Where I put you?
axe of poison.
Poison.
We just end up like one big team of poison.
We are the Dragon Warriors!
Poison warriors.
And when you stand together, you look like one dragon.
yeah.
It's like the Power Rangers. One is the arm, one is the arm. And then
We're the Alice Cooper gang.
Don't you know us? We're the poison
where the
boys.
fuck
While I'm
does it say this?
trying to pull out its teeth,
Yes,
my,
we are.
My goal is to, or my aim is to get a tooth for each of us in the party.
Okay, that's gonna take you a while. But yes,
Yes.
I hear what you're saying.
No, he's.
Galleon, actually, Galleon, roll a sleight of hand check.
Got it, yo.
It's not a pain, it's not a strength.
Nope, because you have to be very delicate to get this done right.
Okay.
You're all in the middle of different things.
No. I was thinking about what can
I roll an
Would
8.
be medicine.
No.
No, that would be
8.
if we get caught.
Roll a d4. And that is how many teeth you're able to get out in the time that you're spending doing this right now.
That's one tooth.
That is what you're able to. Again, I mean, there's with every little inkling of blood, what do you use to get it out with?
My hands.
Yeah, so with every little inkling of blood, you see how this, I mean, blood just turns to on the ground and forcing you
if
to
I
work.
if I notice the blood going acid, I think I will find some way to protect myself.
Yes, so that you do, and in doing so, it takes you a while, and therefore, in the time that we all are spending doing what we're doing right now, you have managed to get out one tooth, which is then also in pretty damn good condition.
Galleon, you're an amateur.
I was just looking for...
You said what?
Yes. So, what? What did you say, Galleon?
Who called me or what?
No one said anything, it's fine.
Kenneth looks at you from the tail
So,
and
Theragon,
yells at
he-
you. You're an amateur!
Roll initiative. No. The dragon wakes up.
You cut my tail!
You look at the horns initially, and while that seems, I mean,
That's useful.
they would be this wide as well. The horns, you wouldn't have use for them ready for anything. The claws, on the other hand, seem to have the size of what wouldn't be an axe, but more greatsword size.
Okay.
If not right off, like you pull it off and it's a great sword,
No.
but if you pulled it off and spent some time, or had
Creating
especially
something.
had someone good at it,
Yeah.
spend some time on it, it could probably become a pretty powerful weapon.
Nice.
This is crazy. We have a buffet of
All right.
large dragon.
Okay, so the horn, to my knowledge, seems like something that
It is essentially. I mean, the horn is essentially. They might,
Not
but the
something
whole
useful.
creature does. The horn is essentially a tree. I mean, in its size.
Yeah, and even if you go to like the tip of the horn, it's still.
It would still be. I mean, it's so.
Okay.
So it's the horn.
Then
is,
I'll go for the. I'll
Yeah.
go for a talon.
yeah, exactly. So make a sleight of hand check.
Can I? No. Yeah.
Oh yeah. What are you?
So either you help someone else with their thing, or you do your own thing.
I have my own thing.
Oh,
Yes.
you have your own.
I have an idea.
All right.
I also
Sleight
have
of
my
a
own
hand.
Just make a house inside of this dragon.
I live here now.
13.
13. Yeah. You start working on trying to carve out this again with with all the blood that comes out from your working. You see all these stenches, and therefore have to be careful with what you do.
I am going to the wings, and I would like to carve some roughly human-sized lumps out of it that can be turned into cloaks.
Yeah.
Nice.
You could do that.
Yeah.
I don't suppose you're being super. I mean, there's not blood in this
it's
part of the
scallop.
wings
but
anyway.
I would be delicate and very respectful and like, what the fuck are we doing? But I have an idea.
Make a sleight of hand check.
That's 18.
Okay. You start working on that. You have made your way to the
Tail.
to the tail.
So, as I was telling you,
The end of the tail.
this might be doing what
And I
this
see,
doesn't.
I see spikes from the tail, or what?
Well, you see that all the way down, pretty much all the way down the back. There has been spikes, and they grow. Oh, they grow smaller and smaller all the way down. And down in the end, you pretty much see just like a two bones out, one bone in the end, and like a third bone over the top.
And that's the music I hear in my head.
You see, this might be able to do what that thing did, but probably a little better, given that thing couldn't even contain what this thing has inside.
All right, let's
It's
try
still
it.
a dragon though? Are they that small?
About to find out. It would be probably this long. The very bottom of it.
Monster Dog Tooth, Dragon Tail Tooth.
Yeah,
I'll try and get that out.
You start carving one out. Do a sleight of hand check.
Flight of Slant.
Come on, Kevin. Come on, Kevin.
Is it a natural one?
No, it's a 5.
Who's the amateur now?
What was what was your thing to poison?
What?
He's resistant to it.
I'm resistant to
He
poison.
takes half damage. Sorry, I'm shutting up.
No, it's fine. Oh,
It's the truth.
the
truth.
I don't have, for fuck's sake.
That's the breath. Isn't that just the breath?
This thing is ancient.
I might die or lose a hand, but you can just put the stinger on my hand.
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to
Fang
climb.
or the flavor
Oh, just
I would
zack, zack, zack,
the
zack,
dragon
just.
just
You remember it? Do
How,
you
so you can
remember
also change
Assassin's
the
Creed
angle?
Revelation?
I've never rolled
It's
like
got the
this
hook
before,
blade.
but
It's got a hook, it's got a blade.
A hook blade.
How much damage was
is
that?
that more or less than 10 d6s?
What are you doing?
More.
How
Fuck,
is he?
I could
how
die.
We can still name the group in honor of your death.
How
He
is
died doing what he
But I
loved
don't.
most.
I don't
The river
understand.
was-
Are you not just trying to
Starving
get off?
dead
Like,
monsters.
are you not just
He's trying to
get
cut
off
off the tail,
Kevin's
the butt of it.
Yeah.
the whole tail?
I thought you were just
I'm
going
just
for some
taking
of
a
the
spike.
spikes.
I was going for the spike.
In any case.
Yeah,
This still happens. Doesn't care.
that's
matter.
fair.
So,
But I'm resistant, so it's
Yeah,
half
yeah,
damage.
Well,
yeah.
you didn't
So-
jump in a pool of shit.
54.
good one.
That's always something.
Will I ever live this down?
You didn't.
We might need a long rest after this.
Well, we just.
You are resistant
To
to
poison.
poison.
But this is
Half damage.
acid.
You take 36 poison damage. As some of this, as you start maneuvering this thing off, as some of this, and it just instantly
Oh, do I get like a
into
cool
your
scar?
hand. Well, I don't know if it's cool, but there's definitely a burn, bubbly feeling, and you just essentially react
Yeah.
like your hand goes numb for a little while, but you're stood with this.
You look around. Your hand goes up.
You're stood
that
with
in the
this
hand?
dagger thing in your other hand, and you can just see on your left hand, like,
It's the right hand.
oh, well then, it's the other hand. Your right hand is in a lot of pain.
So
And I take
Your hand
this
goes
dagger, and I. How can I do this? Cool.
you're not. No.
I throw it away and I take a new one.
Yeah, no.
Ah.
No, you don't need that one. No.
Don't be that dumb, right?
Okay, this could.
Is this
be
a
fun.
dagger I see
Is
before
this
me?
dagger? Is this still poison or?
Yes, it's.
I mean, you were resistant, so it is
but
poisoned.
if I
If
put
not,
this
then
in
you
my
would
take
mouth
it
to do
now.
like this to do
If
bunch
you
of,
put the dagger in your
yeah,
mouth,
like,
Him coming.
it's
to
gonna
get you
corrode
again?
my.
so like you just resisted damage and took.
No.
If you put the dagger
have
in
it-
your mouth,
But
there's
do
a
I
good
get-
chance
just-
it's
I
gonna
know,
hurt.
It's just, do I get that kind of damage every time I put this in my hand?
No, this was not from having the thing. You're not taking
Okay,
damage
that's good.
standing with it right now.
No.
This
Okay,
was
that's
from
good.
the blood that hit
out
your
of the
hand
thing.
when you were doing it.
Okay, I'm gonna put this down in the ground, like,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm just gonna put my other hand and I do wholeness
Lay
of
on
body.
hands.
Yeah. Huh?
I regain 24 HP.
Wow.
Hey, he's a monk.
And I take the dagger and I put it inside my body, and I am a dragon now.
I'm awful flat things.
I'll wear a dress.
127 hours going back.
Else you,
No,
for
but
fuck's sake. Else you, Emilia's just sat there going, what?
I would love to have some kind of what I imagine right now.
How do you want to do your scar?
It's just, it would be so cool if it's like a pool of blood that goes out and I see like small veins going out, like a thunderstruck. So we have like a core here, and then a lot of things go out here.
That.
This is cool. I love it. Let me do this.
That is, you come up with how your scar looks.
Thank you. So think.
You don't have to,
Tokyo
as long as you know it.
Station,
As
but
long
in
as you know it.
Skyfall.
As long as you know it.
Yeah.
You can put it in the Discord.
Yes.
But you're now stood with, don't do it now. You're now stood with the butt, which is essentially the size of a dagger.
Blog reacting to this.
Yeah.
Well, I told you to be careful, didn't I?
Yeah. I probably don't even know how.
Your hand is pretty numb right
Yeah.
now, probably, having just been damaged and healed, and yeah, just
He looks around.
His uncle.
This is gonna be useful.
See Gimbla coming.
I look at it. Does it have a poison pouch as well? Does it?
It doesn't have a
poison?
pouch the same way, but there's definitely poison inside it.
And everything is poison.
Everything
This
is
is great.
poison. Everything is cool when you're partying dragon.
Okay, Gimblar. Do you need help with anything?
Not from you.
You're not careful at all!
No, I think I'll let Morks handle my part of the business. He knows his way around
Okay.
these sort of things.
Okay. I go back.
And you guys start walking back to the rest of the group.
How am I doing
With
on
your
this,
scale?
You have started working on the scales, and you rolled what on your sleight of hand check?
9.
Make a d10 roll.
Get half that. Roll the one. I
You
hear
get-
you.
No, it's a D10. That's a 10.
You get 10 scales,
Of an ancient Greek
which
dragon.
is quite a bit. So while we don't play with encumbrance, it is, I mean,
How big
quite a
is
bit.
one scale?
The scales would be this size.
Because I was just thinking like a something
stack.
like
I mean,
yeah,
that's
like a
essentially
stack
that's essentially what
Yeah.
you've gotten off with now.
that would weigh around maybe 8 kilos or something, or 10. Or is it more like than that? Probably, I guess.
No, you know, we do something else.
Okay.
No, that would make sense. They're a little smaller than that, than maybe like this size, but you got 10 of them off in the time that you've spent here so far.
Cool.
And all of your checks, I mean,
I really like.
each of your checks, we can put it this way, one round of checks is probably 1.5, 2 hours spent in this location.
All right.
Again, having to be delicate, the time you've spent talking, discussing what you wanted to do and what not. And now seeing, or having also heard like the sound from Kevin earlier.
No, I'm a dwarf.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you're regrouped, and I'm in possession of what you tried to get in possession of. What did you try to get in possession of?
Dragon wing.
Hide, yes,
To make
or
into
the
a-
yep.
to
You
make
would
into
have
a-
come into possession.
of.
I mean, to I guess maybe 2 meters by 1 meter ish, like the frame of a person.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, around there.
Yeah.
Just one.
If that's what you.
I was actually thinking if it's, I don't know if it's fairly easy because it's already torn, but to make like.
I mean, it's
Cape.
difficult to get full pieces, but you have
Yeah,
enough to be a cape already.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
And if anybody else wants it, they can take inspiration from getting the keep. I am allowing this.
What?
Nice.
What?
Do you want to stay around and get more, or do you want to press on?
Well,
I'm
I'm using. Does anyone need anything else? I have this, but maybe a tooth could be nice as well.
Galleon.
I'm getting teeth where.
Yeah.
Galleon, do you need scales to make like a shield or something?
Is she asking me?
Yes.
That might be nice. With a dragon hide shield.
Sounds pretty pop, Jim.
Maybe I could pimp up my shield by adding dragon scales. Let's do it.
Nice. I think I would like a. What are you using yours for?
Well,
Your skin.
I was thinking actually a bit of being able to maybe be in a bit more cover. Well, at least more in green places. At least all.
What is it with these dragons? Are they? Do they use? Are they poison? Are they using poison, Galleon, to fight?
You would know that as a yes, Galleon.
So I guess maybe a cape could
Maybe.
give some sort of poison protection.
Yes, that was my idea at least. But we can see if we can make some more.
Yeah.
I like this cape thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try to get a cape for you and me.
There would be, unless if you were to start sewing things, I don't know if any of you have a sewing kit, there would be enough, I mean, since you want it to be in the same piece, there would be enough for 2 capes on the dragons. Again, they're very torn, like kind of slit
yeah.
already, so in order to get one piece that would function as a cape for, especially you, both of you being half-orcs, and the size you are, there would be enough for probably one more than the one that you've already acquired.
So not for both of us, just one.
No, that'd be enough for 2 in total.
Two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's try and then we can also, of course, when we are resting, spend time on.
Yeah, but that was actually my question. Do you want to? It sounds horrible to say. Do you want to stay here, do as much scavenging as we can, and then press on? Do you want to spend? what would
Yes,
be called-
I think we should do that.
I don't mind spending more time.
We do have pressing matters on our hands.
Remember, you can only gain the benefit of a long rest once per 24 hours.
Well, I know, but like staying here, doing all the activities, and then going to sleep again when we are feeling tired.
if we do press on, be careful. This is
You see his hand being
the
completely
tail.
like green.
What happened to your arm?
Yeah.
yeah.
It will be very green, the scar for now.
It's quite
And
nice
bubbly,
for my
and
stationary coat.
Did you get
It will be
poisoned?
bubbly
Yes.
and probably stink quite a bit as
Yeah.
well.
Does anyone have
The
Survival
same
check?
smell, the same smell that you know it
Yeah.
to be, but
Fight for
just
the hell,
I mean,
man.
now you're right next to it.
Maybe you need to make some gloves out of the wings.
Could be nice.
You have small
Um,
hands.
Is there anything I see on the dragon
Mhm.
that I could use as maybe like a handle for if I could use the talent to create like a sword?
Then you could probably.
Just for a flare. Just for like a flare thing.
Yeah, you could probably like with the tooth. You could work with it for a while to shape it into something like that. But like delicate cutting through something to make a handle would be hard to do on the spot. So you could
course.
definitely take a piece and then over time like carve it into be.
Would it make more sense to use part of the horn?
Well, I mean, either the horn or the tooth or the claws. They're all all bone, so it's the same material
It's the
anyway.
same material.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Depends on what you want to be able to brag as it being, I suppose.
And then you can maybe take some of the wings and turn it like twist it around
Yeah,
to
just
like
a little part of
yeah
that I don't need for the
yeah.
cape. Yes.
There are slices of everything.
What about bedrolls? You don't really have any.
You have a bedroll. You have a. You slept
wanna
with
see
We
a-
all
the
have
dragon?
You
bedrolls.
should have a bedroll.
Yeah.
I'll take his belly.
But if you like sleeping in poison, then you know.
I'll take the brain.
I'll take the brain.
The brain.
If I can, I would like to. If we're staying a bit more, I would like to just get like a small chip of the horn, but more of like a trinket. More
Create a D20.
to create a D20.
Because
I
dragon.
would like to put in a
20.
necklace to like a sort of a symbol of this.
Nice.
To keep like the
Yeah, I mean, again, if you're opting to spend so much time here anyway, then
I would like to go for a tooth as well.
yes, make a a sleight of hand check.
But I'm already on it. If you
Yeah.
two.
8.
You start working on a tooth, and Galleon, you have managed to get a tooth out. Did you go for a big tooth or just one of the smaller ones?
One of the sharper ones.
They would all be equally sharp. But my question to you is more meta-esque. Were you looking to get something dagger-like, or longsword-like, or greatsword-like, or what are you trying to do?
I think I would go for a dagger.
Okay. Sounds good.
Is there poison in the teeth?
You have seen blood while you have pulled out the tooth, and you rolled a high enough sleight of hand check to not get hit by that poison or blood, which you saw land on the ground to go psh. So something tells you that yes, there might be some poison in the tooth.
Right. I think daggers are
Yeah.
a great idea.
The next boss we're going to.
So you
fight
got
is
a
gonna
dagger.
be-
Insta dead.
Resistant to poison.
The next 4 opponents, yeah, poison resistance. God damn it. Or just immune.
Yeah, immune to poison. Oh. I'm just gonna give you a massage then. Poison.
You stick around for how much longer?
I have the scales
Well,
I need.
You have the scales you need.
I'm going for the from the wings
Yeah.
to create a, and then I'm going for just a little piece of the horn that I
Yes.
could use for the.
Yep. You guys, you don't have to roll anything for either.
With the cape thing.
You don't have to roll for
Okay.
any
But
of those two.
I do the cape thing though with the guys.
So who gets the cape?
Oh, there's only one. Never mind.
No, it's just agree on it, I suppose.
No, I think you should get the cape then,
You get the cape. Good.
because I'm gonna do things with my.
And you did the tooth.
I did the tooth, yeah.
Yeah. Roll a d4.
Oh, that's not bad. 4.
You get 4 smaller teeth, like not the size of a dagger.
Can I, if I...
I mean, if you had a way to do it, to make them into that, then probably, yeah.
I'll put them in a special
But
pocket.
no one's leather tools proficient, are they, in the group?
Not yet.
No. Not yet.
Maybe we
Gimplark!
can ask Gimplark to
Yeah.
help us with this.
That could probably be done at some point.
That would be so cool.
So you now have 4 dragon fangs. You
Question
spend.
to the DM.
Yes.
Should I? Did I get a dagger? A poisonous dagger?
You did.
Or
Well, I mean,
something?
for now it's just a dagger to you that you know that when you touch the blood that comes from it, it hurts like hell. But if you find out more about it, then you might get stats about it too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I will start by adding a dagger.
Yeah. You.
Have you got a great sword? Cool. Nice.
You.
And a dragon.
Cool.
What was it? A dragon spike? The other one?
Fang and tail.
Tail.
Or you only wanted the tip of the tail, right, for the dagger thing?
Yeah. I
Yes.
think
So it's more of a spike then, I suppose.
dragon spike.
Yeah.
Unless there's something like useful about the other things, but I think it's just
You can
like,
make it a really
instead of my
big
stinger,
whip.
That would be so cool. But not for the dwarven monk.
Is whip a monk weapon?
No, it's too much.
It's got reach.
If you whip it out.
Nah, it's alright. I'll take this back.
You do you. While all this has been going on, you've seen Morks kind of been walking around and helping Gimplark, like, oh no, that one over to the right! Helping him with different things and starting to pack stuff in their backpack too. And after you've spent probably 5-6 hours here in total, not that you know the exact, but around there, Morks just goes, hi. Do we need to hurt it anymore?
No.
No more.
Can you feel this creature being alive?
Well, no, but it looks... When we came here, it looked like it was pretty once, and now... You see, kind of as you turn around, where like multiple scales have been pulled out, this ooze has kind of come down the side of it. There's already the pretty deep gorges from the Shadowkai attack, some of the teeth. I mean, you've tried to pull out some of them where bits and pieces are still in the mouth as if kind of broken out. Well, I don't see it as having once been pretty the same way anymore.
No, that's true.
But I mean, as long as we got what we need, right, Gimplark?
Oh yeah, smokes and then some.
Well, Morks, do you know of any sending ritual, something we could do for this dragon before we leave?
Yeah.
Well, whenever animals used to die, we used to let the other animals eat them. But I don't know which animal is big enough to eat this one.
I don't think anyone would survive
No,
this feast.
probably
Well,
not.
that too.
Should we burn it?
I don't think you can burn it.
Might explode, maybe.
I would like to look around for a
There's
rock.
gas inside.
For a rock?
Something that might be a
that makes
tombstone.
total sense. Just remember that.
I mean, there's rocks around, but nothing that would look like a tombstone. You can put a rock next to it, I suppose. Yeah?
I would do that, and
Yeah.
then I would use some time to with something I have try and like engrave
Yeah?
a sort of.
What would you do that with?
Yeah, that's just a question.
Because, I mean, chopping
I mean,
into
I-
rock will definitely dull whatever weapon you're using to do it with. Just so that
That's
you know.
true.
It is a rock after all, not just a piece of wood.
Well,
That is true.
can you use this? I pull out one of the dragon fangs, the teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Can you use this?
You did get quite a lot of those.
I did. I got 4. How many?
But they're quite a bit smaller than the one that you were able to get out, Galleon.
Well, that's fine, I guess.
As you start,
I worked for hours and I only got one.
So Galleon's is more of a short sword, and
His
are more
like-
not
like small
not even
nuggets.
daggers. They're
Arrowheads.
this big.
It's for my.
Where did you find those?
Well, inside there.
Oh, you're gonna make
At the most inside.
you're gonna make a weapon out of it?
Yeah, I was thinking of making,
Fist
the
weapon.
things- a fist weapon, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Great.
Knuckles.
Knuckles, yeah.
Knuckles.
Cool.
That would be great idea. Efficient, I think. And I could still.
You
hold
get the
both
dagger,
hands.
and it again. I mean, it doesn't really. Bone against rock doesn't do
Ah, okay.
a whole lot in this.
Poison bone against rock.
No, not really. That would be acid you would need in order to do that with. But I mean, again, you can leave a rock that you have some markings in, and you can use different things to try and. I mean, I guess what you would do actually, Galleon, in all of this, you would take some charcoal.
For Gimblock.
Yeah, or you could take
And
some coal, like coal tree, and write with that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. You want to do that instead?
I would do that.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So you take some, you take one of these rocks, kind of roll them over in front of the dragon, and start writing with this little piece of burnt wood. And what do you want to write?
I write, here stands a monument to Raskareth,
Mm-hmm.
protector of the woods. Thank you for your sacrifice.
Yeah.
Look to the moon.
Yeah, nice. You write that, and as you're done writing, Gimplak looks to the rest of you. Well, we're off then.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also make a small drawing of the same emblem that is on my amulet, like the
Okay.
moon symbol I have.
Gotcha. Sounds good. You you leave the dragon behind and walk for a couple more hours. Quickly, the surroundings turn back to essentially the same that you've been walking in for the entire time up until now. As you're walking, Morx comes up to you, Galleon, and asks, "So, Galleon, you were talking about a Lake of Dreams.
Yes, I was.
I've had a hard time dreaming lately. Do you think I can find my dreams there?"
Well, there's no telling.
This is Galleon
Right.
answering. Like, this is, you know, as much as the DM knows in this regard. Or as much as the DM has told you anyway.
There's no telling you, but
Oh.
I think there might be an explanation, a sort of link between what has happened here and the lack of your dreams.
I just figured with the name and everything, maybe there was like a storage or something.
Maybe.
Maybe
I
not.
do know that we're not allowed to bathe in the lake,
Oh,
but I do think if you are willing to help us,
yes,
that if we solve this,
yes.
we might make that connection again. Make you
Well,
able
I
to
hope
dream
so.
again.
I hope so.
I take it that you might be joining us, joining the League of Unlicht.
Well, I do want my powers back, but I'm not sure our destination is the same as yours.
But you are a mighty warrior.
I don't know about mighty or warrior.
You look strong. We need every capable fighter in this realm.
Well, I am pretty tall.
Yes.
He
And
kind
quite
of,
smart.
yeah, I'm pretty smart too. He kind of just bows his head and falls back in the ranks, so to speak, a bit. Again, as you continue making your way further forward. You walk for another hour or so. I would like for all of you to remove a ration of food.
I would like to use my ability to forage.
Do you do that during long rests, or?
Doesn't say. Yeah, it's just part of my background. You have an excellent memory of maps, geography. You can always recall the general layout of terrain settlements around you. In addition, you can find food, fresh water for yourself and up to 5 other people each day.
Once
provided,
each day. Okay.
Yeah, up to 5 other people each day, provided that the land varies small drinking water and so forth.
Okay, so where you are right now doesn't really, but I mean, when you walk for an entire day, you know that at some point along the way it will present itself. And there might be days where there literally isn't going to be, I mean, fresh water for you to find. But then maybe you know of ways to make non-fresh water drinkable.
Can I, Galleon? I think you need
Yes.
this more than I do, and I take out that mask of disguise self I have on.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I've noticed that your chainmail it's quite noisy when we try to sneak up on anyone. So I think this would be useful for you, and I give him the mask of disguise self.
Yeah.
Wow.
You have a mask of disguise self.
D&D logic. Wear this
I
mask.
think you might be very right.
You
Maybe put it on your chainmail so it doesn't make that noise.
See? Looked like I was about to say something.
I was just thinking that you're the most sneakiest one of us. Wouldn't it
Yeah,
make
that-
more sense that Dom gave up his? Because you're the
What?
guy. Yeah, no, but the reason is that
While we're walking.
you can at least be in the front and trying to get to information.
That is true. I just thought that I've done all right. But if you don't have
Well,
any use
if
for
for
yours,
the logic of him giving it to someone who is not as stealthy, I would think that this warrior is not as stealthy and should therefore keep his mask as well.
that was
If
my
he is
thinking
already
as well.
stealthy, why would he need the mask?
Makes the sense.
That's a good point, Therogar.
And my intelligence is only 8.
Hey, that's
Pretty
why the
fucking
world-
smart. You.
What if we gave it to Morgs?
While you have walked and discussed your whether to mask or not to mask,
Like idiots.
you, now that that discussion has come to an end, realize that the trees, in somewhat similar fashion to before, become fewer and further between, but where before it was because they were pulled up by trolls, that's not quite the case, so they just seem to be scattered more. And there's a bit more space in between them. You continue forward, you walk for an additional hour or so before you come out to what appears to be a big opening. You can't really see. An opening you can't really see, I know, great logic. You essentially come to what appears to be a massive, desolate canyon. Galleon, you know that this is where the water would start in the Lake of Dreams. But you're also greeted with this stark and surreal sight where the vast expanse of water, pretty much going all the way to the horizon, once shimmered and danced with the reflection of both moon and stars. That's now completely gone, and it's just replaced by this. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever been to the Grand Canyon or seen it in photos or whatever. Just imagine that, but that much, like pretty much horizon further. The lake bed, as you kind of stand and look as it starts going downhill, stretches out before you. It's dry and completely kind of cracked the soil, and jagged rocks kind of point out in different places. And that's where we end today's session. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We will see you for more D&D next time.
What?